we have completed it till right here, and in the last class, I discussed with you regarding the different functions of spreadsheet, like an integer one, round up, round down. Other than this, I also worked on to the example of indices and power, that how you can change the powers, or if you want to change the indices of to something, like just in cases if it isn't needed. The third thing that we discussed into our last class was regarding the date and time function, and we have added this right in this sheet. Like this is done, this is done, this is done. Now we are going to move on to the next area, that is text function. So this is what that we are going to discuss in today's class, that is text functions. So first of all, let's first discuss that what is a function. A function is basically a one that returns a value, and just by saying it, returning a value means that, for example, if I'm giving any command or if I'm giving any value, so if this is a function, I expect it to comes back to me. So that means that, for example, if you have any of the example, like if I'm working on to calculate the length of a text. So the length is basically conducted by some measurements, or let's say that, for example, if I'm calculating an area, so area is mostly like length into breadth into height. So that means that if I'm going to add the value of that length, breadth, and height, it is going to return me the value of the area, right? So this is just an example. Like this is what it really means by a function. A function is basically means that when it returns a value. So when calculations are made, it basically joins text together. It calculates those values, and this is it. So for text functions, I have these number of text functions that we have into our syllabus. And the first function that I have right here is to be named as concatenate. So concatenate function basically means that when I'm joining together two or three different values, like if I am adding together two to three different values, so that means that now I'm using the function of concatenating. Concatenating means that I am joining together values. So let's also check one of the examples of this, that how this works. So I'm going to name this sheet as my text functions. And so these are my text functions. So for example, if I'm writing here 10, if I'm writing here 15, if I'm writing here 16, and let's see that if I apply the concatenate function, and I add these three cells together. So that's how a concatenate function is implemented, equals to concatenate, and you need to type these cells and enter. So your formula returned multiple values, so they can be spilled them into the neighboring blank cells. These were some values, and I merged all of these values together. So this is giving you, as you can see, that little purple box. This is giving you the exact value right here. But similarly, if I give some strings, like if I give some a sentence, like for example, Sarah Ali Ahmed, and if I just merge it, so you can see that it is I just added the formula on this cell, which is A6, but it is giving you the same value that was above. So the difference between them, that right here it was in different cells. Like this cell is going to be considered as A4, this is B4, this is C4. But if I've used the concatenating function, now what it has does is that it has combined all of it into a single cell, and you can see the results. Like for example, you can see that concatenate A1, B1, C1, or A1 and B1. So we can work into things like this. The next title that I have right here is left, and the function of left is that it extracts the further left from the character. So this was an example of concatenate. Let's move on to the second example. concatenate. Let me just delete this. Concatenate. The second function we are going to use is left. For example, I have like a sentence such as good student. I have added this into this cell, and now I'm going to implement the left function. So is equals to left tab and whatever the name is this. And again, I need to add a number here. For example, if I enter 5 here, now what you are going to see is that it has given you this uh, you can say that it has given you a sentence, but sorry, no, not a sentence. You can see that it has splitted this string. Like for example, I have written here good student, and when I implemented the left, so you can see that right side is this side and left side is this side. And I have given the value of 5 into that. So it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this means that it has taken 5 spaces, 5 areas from your left hand side. So this is how this functions work. You have your leftmost answer right here. The next part is your right one, and in your right one, for example, if I'm writing here again, good student, and now if I'm typing it as right, and I'm going to again take the name of the cell right here, and I'm going to give the same number. You can see this is giving you a different value. And so let me change it. If I just make it to 6, so let's make it a 7. See, so what it is that doing, it is taking all the values from the right hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it has taken these 7 values and it has given you the output. So I hope that it is clear. You can stop me anytime you wish to. Concatenated is done, left is done, right is done. So the next area is the mid function. So do you have any guesses like what this function is going to do?
No, sir.
So the middle function, what is it going to do? Like for example, if I have this one right here, good student. And now when I'm going to apply this function right here, I'm going to write here mid and mid. Then I'm going to add this cell, comma, and just after that, I need to write that how many number of characters I have, because it is going to calculate the middle. So let's make it 10. So you entered too few arguments. So I have given here two values, that is 4 and 6. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The total characters length is 12 here. So what if my sentence is starting from 1 and it is ending at 12? So if I'm taking it the whole of that, it is definitely going to give you the same number, but let me change it to 6 and 12. So this is giving you the most middle value from the parameters that you are given. And these parameters are the positional values of your letters. Like this can be 6 and 8, and this can be 3 and 8. So you can see that it is basically starting from the third value from right here. So 1, 2, 3, it is starting from here, and then I have written here in the formula that and goes up till 8. So it goes like 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wait, let me explain this right here. This is the function that I have added. The cell number is A18 and the alphabets are good, student. So the positional value of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot to add a space here. So for adding a space, you can right click onto that and you can click on insert. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth is the positional value. Sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are all of my positional values. And now if I have implemented 3s to 8 and it is giving me the output like this. So I just want to prove that why it is giving me this output. So first of all, if I have written here 3, so that means it is going to start from here. 1, 2, 3. It is going to start from right here. And it is from this part, it is going to go till the 8th value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the first area. 1, 2, 3. And this is the second area. 3 is to 8. 1, 2, 3. Then again 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means that it is going to go from 1 to 3 right here, and then from 3 it is going to be counted as 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's how you have this answer. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Just after the mid function, I have this length function. Do you have any idea what this length function do?
Basically,
So
calculating the
basically,
length.
this length function, what it is doing, it is that it is calculating the overall length of your sentence. So, for example, I have written here good student, and I want to calculate the length of that. So that I am going to add like is equals to length, and then what is the my cell number and bracket close. So this is going to give you the total number of length it has, like how many character it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 space is also going to be counted. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is certainly giving you the total number of length that you have right here. So you can even change this as you desire. The next function that I have right here is your upper function. And upper function, what it does that it converts your all of the letters into upper cases. So for example, this is the upper one. And for example, this is again an example. So if I'm going to add it like upper and I'm going to add this value into that and enter, so it is going to give me this answer, which means that all of my letters are converted into this capital letters. This is what an upper character length function does. Oh, sorry, not a length function, a text function. The second area that is right here is a lower, and a lower function does that. For example, if this is a sentence that is certainly in upper letter, so if I want to convert that into lower letter, so this is going to be lower, and by lower I'm going to select this cell, and you can see that it has converted into your lower cells. The next function that I have right here is find. And finding is for use like for searching for a substring within a string and returning its position. Let's also check this, how it is going to work. Just a moment, I'm just opening one of the examples right here. Okay, so for find function, I have written here an example, and this example is right here. So for example, if this is a function that I have written here, now what is that doing is that it is finding the letter M, and it is finding the letter M from this sentence, from this name, which is Miriam McGovern. So this Mariam McGovern, the first uh, alphabet that I'm looking forward, M is at the first alphabet. So this is why it has given you the value of 1. Similarly, if I just play with this and I give it a different letter. So for example, let's check that by giving it a G. And let's see what are the results going to be, so that you can see that the values change. So this means that this is on a different value. So this is how this works, this find function. So I hope that it is also clear to you.
Yes,
So,
sir, it's clear.
so far in text functions, is there anything that you want me to repeat or anything that you did not understand?
No, sir, everything was clear.
See, when we will be solving a question paper from your past papers, they will be asking you to implement this concatenate. They will be asking you to take from left to take from right, or even if they might ask you to find the middle value, or they might ask you to implement the upper function, lower function, or they might ask you that you have to calculate the length of this. So all of these functions quite comes in handy when you are solving that. Like for example, right now I have time to teach all of you, but when I will be moving on to the question papers, I hope that I won't need to get back to them. So just keeps on practicing this, just as a class, and also make sure that you are able to implement these as well. So let's carry forward with the other examples. Do you have a book PDF with you?
No, sir.
Okay, I will send it to this to you as well. Okay, so one question from you. I'm this practical activity 8.17. Can you describe me that what the function is doing and how the username is formed in this one? The first name is Harjinder Singh. Can you tell me that how the username is being formed? This one. Any idea? Any guesses?
Mm,
You know what it is doing is, first of all, it is converting the whole of that into an uppercase letters. The second thing is that I have the value that is from a cell from C2. It is taking the right from it and it is going up to 2 letters. And it is also taking another cell which is A2, and it is calculating the value from left hand side from to 3 letters. And it is also calculating the value from B2 and taking it from left till 3 characters. Are you getting it? Are you understanding that how I am comprehending these usernames?
yes, sir.
Find function we have already done. This one. So let's start this data type functions. So questions can be asked about data to determine if it is of a particular type of node. And on data types, we have discussed this quite into detail that we can have different types of data. For example, it could be your date, it could be your time, it could be your currency. So it is definitely important that you should be must be having your accurate type of data. So for example, I'm going to give you some examples of that. The first example is your is function. The first function is right here is your is text. So let's work on to this. So is text, what this function is going to do. For example, if I am writing here good student, and now I want to check that if this value that whatever I have written is, it is even text or not. So I'm going to add it like is text tab, and I'm going to select this. So if there are is the text, in this case it is going to return as true. But just in case if this is not a text, for example, I have written here 15, it is going to return false. You can see that if I write here good, it is if it is a text, it returns as true. If I return 15, it returns as false. So this is another function. The next function that is included in your book is number, and is number is let's also check this. Is number, and whatever the value is right here. Oh, wait. Again, the same example, and if I'm going to implement it is number this. So this is certainly not a number. So this is going to be false. But if I added like 15, so you can see that this is giving you the value as true. So you might be asked in the paper to check the data type. So you can add these types of functions. Just remember one thing regarding function is that they are giving back you a number. They are responding back to it. The next data type function is non-text. Let's check this as well. Again, the same example is non-text, bracket close. You can see that is non-text. Basically, what is that doing is that it is returning true if a value is not text. So if your value is not text, it is going to return as true. For example, if I write here 15, so if this is a number, so this is going to be true. So your value should not be a text. If it is a text, then it is going to be false. Is non-text. So moving on to the next area that I have right here is your is error. And what is that doing? It is returning true if a cell contains an error. Returns true if a cell contains an error. There are no errors into that. This is why it is giving you a value of 5 false, right? But similarly, if there is any sort of error into that, it is going to give you a true. So through this way, you can check your errors. Like just see this example. This is absolutely amazing. Like you can see that the first example is hello, and you can see that if it is a text, it is providing you with a true, with a true like yes, this is a text. But similarly, if you just go over to the other examples, you can see that if it is a number or not, if it is a non-text or not, if it is an error or not, so that you can see you can calculate your results based on things like this. Okay, so let's work on this example. Oof. Okay, so I have three values here. This is, let's make it one, let's make it one, let's make it 1.5. And now I'm discussing with you with another example. Is like, for example, if I can write here the if statement. If is number, whatever is in your if is number, whatever is in your this cell, this is G17. I need to add it correctly by adding the commas. This is important so that you can maintain it. If the value that is in this cell is a number, and just in case if G17 is divided by 2, false. Just a moment. Okay, so this is it. If is number, whatever the value is in your G17, if I'm still giving an error. Okay. Uh, Let me write the whole formula right here for you. This is the formula that I have added here, and the only thing that I need to make you understand is that some functions you might be having, they consider the nature of if. And if basically means is that, for example, if whatever the value is in your G17, is basically a number. So this is basically an example of a logical test, and you can enter it like either if it is the value is true or false. So I have written it like, for example, first of all, I'm going to check that the value that is in your G17 is if it is a number or not. The second thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to write a sort of a logical test into that, checking that if that number is either true or false. So I have written it right here that if G17 and if this number is divisible by 2, and so this can be considered as true, and I have not added here right here true, but if this is the divisible by 2, that means that you can enter false. So one thing is just noted here is that I have written it an alphabetical one, which means O and even, and it is not quietly divisible. Like this one cannot be divided. So this is why it is returning a false value. But similarly, if whatever your number is right here, if you are going to check onto the G18 cell, you can see that those numbers can be divisible. So this is why it is giving you an accurate value, that is your 1 and 1.5. What it is that doing it is that the formula is first checking that if your G17 is a number using your is number function. The second thing is that doing is that it is returning G17 if it is not a number. Let me write down the steps here as well for you. So the first step, this one is quite a complicated one. The first step it is doing is that the formula checks if G17 is a number using is number function. The second thing is that doing, if it is, it returns G17. The third thing it is doing that if it is not a number, it then checks if G17 divided by 2 is a number. Again, then it further checks that if G17 2 is a number, it returns 17 comma 2. Otherwise, it returns false. This is basically a nested statement. A nested statements work like you can add a different number of values to check that if it is returning or not. So any questions till now?
No, sir.